my husband and I will be married 25 years next month. And the reason why we can be married that long is because he has a job and he's gone a lot. So that is the secret to a long marriage. But he actually is the head football coach at Butler University, which is 46 streets straight up north from here. So take a drive through that campus before you leave Indianapolis. And he's been coaching, it's all he's ever done. He went to play college football, has 2 master's degrees, was a graduate assistant coach, and went straight into coaching. We've moved multiple times. Indianapolis is our longest place that we've been. It is home for us. And this is all he knows, this is what he does. His passion is to change young men's lives through the game of football. I was a high school English teacher when we met, and then I became a fitness instructor when we had baby number 3, and then became a master trainer and sort of fell into coaching. He was leery of the coaching thing. Fitness instructing, cool, but what is this coaching thing? He comes from a very conservative family, they're all bankers, and he kind of went rogue with the football coaching thing, and now I'm going rogue with this fitness thing, and we're just like these black sheep in the family. What is happening down there with these people that live in Indiana, what's going on? Everyone else lives up in Chicago. And he was a little bit like, hey, what are we doing here? Is this gonna make us any money? What's going on? And so it took him a little while to even get on board with the idea of being an entrepreneur and network marketing, and could this make any money? So how many of you have a significant other or spouse in your life that is a little bit hesitant or isn't quite sure where this is going? Go ahead, raise them up. Raise them up and look around. So do you ever think you're the only one in this business that something's happening to? No, it's super common, and because this is a female-dominant business, it's generally the husband that is the more hesitant one. So, and that is my relationship, so that's kind of how I'm going to speak, but your relationship is yours, and it'll be specific to you no matter what the situation is. But in my case, it was my husband, and generally I think it's because men, and again, I'm just generalizing, but I've found this to be true in 10 years, men are a little more concerned with the financial aspect of it. So here I am, he was talking about this last night to one of my coaches, here I am like buying Shakeology, like giving out packs of Shakeology, he's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, well, everyone's gonna try it, and I'm just gonna give it out. He's like, we're not making anything. I'm like, just trust me. And eventually he kind of found his way to P90X on his own. 0 nagging. Take note on that, because that's really hard. And it was really hard for me. Bought it, and he came in one day and said, where's that P90X? It's in the basement. Didn't say anything, and then he disappeared in the basement, and I didn't ask him about it when he came back up. And so he found his way to P90X on his own. He found his way to Shakeology on his own, drink Shakeology every day. It wasn't until I made my first check for $1,000 that he was on board. So that's a little bit into the business. It wasn't until I called him that day and said, I'm paying our mortgage with my check this week, and I can do this again next week. That's when he was in. If I would have needed him to be completely in the very beginning, and the way in might look in your head, I wouldn't be here 10 years into this. Because the deal is, he loves football. It is his passion. He will watch 14 hours of game film on a Sunday. He watches ESPN Classic. You understand it's classic. We know who wins the game. That's why it's on Classic. He comes home, we talk about recruiting a little bit, he talks about the family story, he talks about the kids. Every collared shirt he has says Butler University football on it. I have to make sure that I check his wardrobe before we leave to make sure if we're coming to Saturday night, we're not wearing something that says Butler University football on it. He loves football. I love him. I like football. I support him. I do not watch ESPN Classic. I do not watch 14 hours of game film on a Sunday. I do not spend 12 hours a day at the office, creating a game plan. I don't have to. I don't have to love it like that. I love him. I like football. And Saturday afternoons, the Butler Bowl, 44th Street from here, I am decked in my Butler Bulldog gear, and I am the loudest fan there. But I don't have to watch 14 hours of game film to do that. He put together my lanyard for Summit. He always does that because he's extremely OCD. It's very straight when he does it. He pulls out the one label and goes, Superstar. Which one is this? I'm 10 years into the business. That happened 3 years ago. He isn't still sure what superstar means. But that night he brought up my lanyard. Perfectly done. Last month he said, and let me just get this straight. Success Club means they're new, right? Yep, that's what it means. It's always meant that. Now for 10 years. Yep. Yesterday morning, my husband, who is a nocturnal animal and likes to stay up late and hates early mornings, got up at 4:30 a.m. Put on his shirt, went out and did the workout. He doesn't have to love it like I do. He loves me. So he supports me. That's what matters. Chances are your significant other will not love it like you do, and that's okay. You have to let that go and give them permission to find the way they love it in their way because they love you. And if you are expecting your significant other to be as invested in this as you are and be super excited about seeing Joel Freeman at Auto Calabrese, you're missing the point and you're asking too much. They love you. That's how they support you. And if you, to get down to brass tacks, want your significant other to support you, make some freaking money and they'll support you. Period. Stop talking about it. Make some freaking money and prove to them that you're serious about this. Prove to them. Why do our girls go to college? This business. Why are they doing summer stuff that they do? This business. How are we going to retire? This business. A college football coach is an amazing job. He changes lives like we do every day. But it's not super lucrative. This business will do that. So if you want them to be on board with you, let them come to it in their own way, and then make some damn money. And then they'll come to it. I promise you.
Yeah, see, I told you that was good, right? Before I bring up my incredible husband to share from a spouse perspective, I do want to say something about family, because you probably also have family members who are not on board. My dad is an amazing dad. People are laughing already because he follows you on social media, I'm guessing. I am an only child. It is evident I am an only child. My parents do not think I'm 40. I am still 8 years old with pigtails on and the absolute limelight of their life. And I'm very blessed to have such enthusiastic parents. We'll put that way. My dad basically walks around with a foam finger on his hand at all times that says, "My daughter is number one." Okay? He wears his Fit and Funky shirt everywhere he goes. He puts up flyers at the local community gym. He hands out old business cards of mine. I know so because one day my coach Lori was at the bank and she was like, "You bank at Wells Fargo?" I'm like, "No." "Why?" And she's like, "Oh, when I signed up here just now, the lady goes, "Oh, I have a card from somebody." I go, "I don't give out business cards." Sure enough, my dad went in there and gave it. If you go to a Super Saturday event in Dallas, you meet my dad. It's become a thing to take a selfie with him so you can get in his play post collages that he is too cheap to buy the actual 99-cent app for, so that it no longer says that. We've offered to give it to him. Literally, my dad is like our team mascot. Everybody loves Fit and Funky Dad. That's his name on Instagram, and he is proud of it. He has a hat that says Fit and Funky Dad. Like, I am truly, truly blessed. He drives me batshit crazy, but I would not trade that man in for the world. I am the apple of his eye. But when I joined this business, he thought it was nonsense. Danielle, you have no money. Why in the world are you not going out and getting a second job? And when I started having success in this business, and I decided to quit my job as an elementary school teacher and do this full time, and I'm not exaggerating, he did not speak to me for 2 full weeks. He wanted me to know and feel his disappointment in me. How could you give up a good job with a pension plan when you have 2 children and are in debt? And when he finally started speaking to me again, he started sending me job clippings from Craigslist for things like model needed. Really? You want me to go to like an open call for like models for like $20 an hour? Because he was fairly certain that this thing would not work. Never bought Shakeology, never did one of our workouts. Do you want to know the day that Dave Katz became a coach? It was at my house, December of 25th, 2014, it's Christmas. And just 1 week prior, I had earned my first cumulative $1 million in Team Beachbody. And that's when my father said, I guess this is a real thing. He signed up to be a coach that day. It was the day we got him Facebook as well. I blame Darren for that. And he got Shakeology. But my mother said, nope, not doing it. But Arlene, Danielle said I can become an Emerald coach if I sign you up. Nope, not doing it. So Arlene Katz did not become a coach till like 6 months later. Why do I tell you this? Because if you know me and you follow me, my parents literally are like the definition of like, oh my gosh, my kid is the most amazing Beachbody coach ever. My dad reposts and shares every single thing I do. I can't even wait to see how many collages he's made of last night from you guys. It took him, I joined in 2010, you guys. It took him 4 years to support me. We share this because a lot of you are here right now despite the support you get back home. And you have to stay the course because people are afraid of change. They're not sure of what this business is. And the only way to prove it to them that it works is to be successful and to show up a year from now, and the year after that, and the year after that.
And in the 10 years that I've been a coach, not one person in my family has asked me about my business. Not one. My dad's been gone for 17 years. He would have been the one. My mom's older. She was older when she had me. Not quite sure she has any idea what I do. My brother and sister are twins. They're much older. Not one word ever. My in-laws, zero. We're rogue here. And what we do is different. And some people don't like that. But when you come to my house and you see my new patio for my daughter's graduation, you damn straight you paid for that. And I don't need them to ask me about it or validate it, because if I had been waiting for that, I'd be where I was 10 years ago, which was we couldn't pay the bills then. So if you're waiting for someone else to validate your passion, your mission, your purpose in life, you're gonna be exactly where you are right now. Don't wait. It's not their life. They're not paying your bills. You are the only person who needs to give yourself permission to succeed in this business. Give it to yourself. And then light it up. Don't wait for somebody else.
So I want to bring my husband, Darren Natoni, up here. Come here, husband. Now, Darren and I have a different story than other couples. Darren was actually a coach before I ever was one. He had to quit and give up his business and wait 6 months to rejoin in order to join mine when we got married. I was actually married to somebody else when I started this business. And what I'm about to say is probably extremely unpopular, and I am definitely not trying to break up your marriage. But what I will say is this. There is a difference in not understanding what your business is than somebody who does not love you and support you in the way in which you deserve. Please recognize those differences as you grow through this business. I would not be where I am today without this man. And for my OG gangsters on my team who are in this room, you're welcome. For the OG gangsters in this room or who have known me for a long time and knew me then and know me now, know that I am where I need to be with who I need to be in order to be 100% me. So I am certainly not telling you to go home and break up your marriage, but I am telling you to understand and know the difference between someone who loves you and truly loves you and honors you and supports you in the way you need to be supported and something that is toxic. No differently than we tell you that your social of influence will change as you grow and do personal development. Sometimes other things may need to change. Again, not advocating divorce, but I want you to know the difference between being supported and someone pushing and holding you down. But I wanted to bring up my husband quickly because one, he's a male and I can offer a different perspective. Because I think, Julie spoke so eloquently about, what support might look like, but we can say it all day long, and I think it's different when it comes from a spouse. So I just wanted him to quickly share with you what he thinks it means to be a supportive spouse. And again, this can go, if you're a man in the room, like, well, this doesn't apply to me, it does go both ways, because if you think that your wife loves watching you with 95 other really fit and beautiful women, right? So it does go both ways. But I would just love for Darren to share his kind of insight on spouses, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry that the room is 20 degrees Fahrenheit right now. My sister's literally over here wearing a tablecloth. Look at his story, it's so funny. But I'm freezing, so I'm chattering up here. But she was kind enough to tell me this 2 minutes ago while Julie was talking. But first of all, I just want to get one thing out of the way. If your spouse does not support you, there is nothing wrong with you. That's not on you. That's on them. And if they can't, I'll use the male perspective, man up and get behind you, then they're going to get left behind. It's really that simple. It is an honor to be in someone's corner. It is an honor to stand by her side, behind her. I treat it like a sport, and men love sports, right? Well, most men. But I treat this like a sport. I wake up every day fired up to do this, to do whatever I can to support her, because that ultimately leads to great things, not just for her, but look at this room is all here because of the support that's behind the scenes from each and every one of you. And like she said, if you don't have it, that's not on you. All you have to do is show up and do what you have to do to get consistently better. Again, it's an honor to be in your corner, but you have to make that so. You have to just do everything that you can on your end so that your spouse gets it, so that it clicks. Because as soon as he sees that, it's over. He'll treat it like a sport. It'll be his sport to support you. It's so funny when we talk about coming to these events, right? I met so many husbands at these over the years. Even just the other night I was talking to somebody. They didn't get it, right? But they always get it when they see the money. But they didn't get it. And then they came here to Summit. And what happened? They got it. And this dude that I was talking to the other night was fired up. He was like, I'm going home, I'm gonna hit diamond in 6 weeks, I'm gonna do this. all because he got to see this. He didn't hear about the new workouts. He didn't care about that. He didn't care about rank advancements. He didn't care about the intricacies of all this crap. All he saw was that she was fired up, and there were 20,000 other people fired up, other men, other husbands, who were super excited, getting after this, and that got him excited. And that's how you do this. You become the absolute best fucking version of yourself so that they get fired up. And if they can't get fired up by that, then goodbye. And I'm sorry, but that's how it is. That's how it is in life. If somebody else cannot overcome their own insecurities to support you, they do not deserve you. You deserve better. You deserve you. So, I don't know if that's helpful.
No, it is, it's interesting. One of the things we got, it is helpful. One of the things he's been getting tagged the most in this weekend is people in awe of him supporting me. Him filming me during my speeches at the super workout, even last night, him watching me and smiling with adoration. And we joke, we're like, we don't understand why that's so many people are tagging you in it. And then we realize it's because not many strong men know how to support an even stronger female. And it takes a strong man to know how to support a strong female. That it's okay that he's the one that makes our bed. I'm not as good at it. And that sometimes he does the dishes and the laundry. That doesn't demasculate him. It is still our business. Our team achieves everything in this business. It is a shared responsibility. And so that does help. But I think it's, it's this idea of, I don't want you to go home and think that you've got to force this business on your spouse, but I do need for you and your spouse or your family member to understand that if you love each other, you are going to figure out a way to stand by each other and make this thing work together.
But seriously, if you can, in any way, get them to one of these things. Or at least get them to follow other dudes that are in this on social. Other men that are doing it. Because when they see that, they can't help it. Then it's like, okay, this is cool. This is actually, I want to hang out with these guys. Like once they get in a room with all the guys or vice versa, it works. And like she was just talking about these roles, like making the bed or doing whatever and laundry and all that. So there is no role in our relationship that is like husband-wife or male-female. It's just we do everything.
Well, I don't do bugs.
Yeah. And she didn't have to do the cat bugs. But that's how it is. This is a partnership. And that's the funnest thing about this, is that it's not like, oh, she goes to work, I go to work, at the end of the day we show up and we talk for, a few minutes and then watch The Handmaid's Tale. Like, we're with each other 24/7. This is my best friend in the world right here. I married my best friend. I also happen to work with her. And that can put strain on some relationships. But once you both get on board, you see what this can do. There's no strain there. There's nothing that's gonna break that. You get stronger because you believe in it. And by you believing in you, mutually, you become stronger. So, we believe in you, right? That's the whole theme this summit. Believe in yourself. That's what you have to do. You do not have to convince anybody else to believe in you. You have to believe in you. By you believing in you, your spouse will believe in you. And if they can't, like I said, that's not on you. Don't take that weight. Don't carry that weight. Carry what lifts you up. You can carry that up a mountain, but you can't carry baggage. That's going to weigh you down. So carry what lifts you up. What lifts you up is you. You being your best. By you being your best, you're going to attract other people. You're going to attract other people to become their best. And suddenly you're going to have this team in this room with you, fired up, ready to get after it. And it might take that $1,000 check. It might take you hitting the million club. Whatever it is, it will happen as long as you're doing it for the right reasons. You can't force this. You can't convince anybody. It's like trying to sell it, no different than selling a challenge pack or a program. You're not going to convince somebody to do this. They just have to see it in you. They just have to see it excites you. It doesn't matter that there's all these 70 superfoods and all this stuff in Shakeology. Big deal. They're amazing. You need them. But that smile on your face, those pounds you lost, the muscle you gained, that's what gets people in this business. And it's no different in your relationship. The happiness you gain from you believing in you and you doing the daily, annoying, shitty, boring things that you don't want to do, over time, that's going to just open up this entire new opportunity, this entire new person that is going to invite them into your life, and this is going to become a team thing for you. And once that happens, this is your gig. This is what you do 24/7, and it is amazing. So to all the husbands out there, treat this like a sport. Treat supporting your partner like a sport. Live it, love it, get after it, and stand behind her so that she can stand next to you. So.
All right, so we're going to open it up to Q&A. Brad and Jared have mics that they're going to run out, so it'll be easier. So Debbie, go ahead and shout it out real loud, and then so